question. Next question, Earl Gregory. Is emotional singing dangerous on the chords? When you sing and a song drives you to such a place that you're overcome with emotion that you're not thinking about technique but just pure feeling, sometimes the force on the vocal folds are so harsh. Oh, I can't wait for this one. Go ahead.
Oh, what? You can't wait for it. You want me to answer it first? Do
Yeah,
you have a good answer? Do you have a good answer?
I'm passionate about this subject, so go.
Okay, fine. Then you get the last word. Anytime we vocalize very, very emotionally, it is very hard to be thinking about technique. Absolutely. If you think about a time when you are crying uncontrollably or you vocalize out of grief or anger, those kinds of vocalizations can be difficult on the voice. Absolutely. That doesn't mean emotional singing is hard on the voice. It means that there are some uncontrolled emotional outbursts that could be hard on the voice and might fall into those risk categories. But I also think we can't live our lives emotionless. So it's another instance of practicing, being able to practice being in that emotion and still having a little bit of control connected to that. And that comes with practice as well. So I think the overall answer is yes and no. Yes, it can be difficult on the vocal folds. No, it doesn't necessarily have to be. And if the reason for this question is, should I sing without emotion so that I can have technique? The answer to that is definitely no.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much for that. So I'm so passionate about this, people. I'm absolutely it's a big part of my work is helping artists connect emotionally and layer their sound with emotion and working on interpretation, the communication, emotion. This is the basis for singing. Okay, it is the basic reason why we as human beings sing. So it is absolutely going to, done the right way, okay, this will absolutely improve everything about your technical execution immediately. You don't even have to know 95% of singing issues I can fix with emotional layering, and the rest is technique. So the problem is when we get it, you need to look at what is the true emotional reaction, right? Because if you're singing a song and you're emotional about it and you think this part needs to be loud and you just make it loud, is that your authentic emotional sound at that pitch that you would use in real life? If it's not, then your connection, you're adding something to the voice that you would never do in real life. So if maybe somebody else other than me has had this happen to them, and I'm turning down my volume, had this happen to them in life where they had just a horrible day and they were so frustrated and they thought nothing ever is going to be okay again, and they just went like this. All right,
That was
and guess
amazing.
what? That is not going to hurt your voice. Crazy, huh? Maybe if you do it, because it's completely authentic and it's completely backed with emotion. If you don't know how to do that and you try and add that to a song, you're going to do it wrong. Okay? And if it's not your authentic volume level and you're just the victim of your emotion, you could hurt yourself. But if you, like Melanie said, you got to sing with emotion. It is so important. And as you're learning, then you need, as Melanie also said, you need to rein in that emotion more. It needs to be there, but you cannot let it push you beyond the necessary activity that you need for singing. Because if it overwhelms you, it can shut everything down. It's like, have you ever tried singing when you have the hiccups? No chance. It's never going to happen, right? And if you're going crying like that, you're never going to sing. So if using emotion, absolutely so important. If it overwhelms you, it's going to cause vocal problems. When you find the emotional connection, then it's all about balancing to the right level so you can sustain this for hours at a time. You know what I mean? So, sorry, that was a long.
Well, you got some feelings about this, eh? You got some emotions
It's
about the emotion.
so important, and it really works. But you do need some guidance, and you will find it. So please do not avoid singing with emotion. Just look at how much the emotion pushes you to possibly leave the realms of normal or the realms of safe. All right? So Let's
Can I
go.
tell you, can I tell you
Yeah,
a
go ahead.
hilarious quick sidebar that everyone I'm sure will enjoy? This is me being super vulnerable. I was in my voice degree in undergrad and had just broken up with this guy who was my drummer. It was a whole thing. And my roommate, who was a professional dancer, and I were singing into our hairbrushes, getting ready to go out and blow off some steam about it. And we were singing Prince because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And she turns to me and she goes, "Girl, you need to get dumped more often. You got soul." And I was so upset. Philippe, I was so upset. I was like, that was the only argument we had in 4 years of living together. I love this girl. I was devastated. I was like, are you telling me I should get dumped more often? It took me 2 weeks to talk to her about it because I was so broken up about the whole thing. And I said to her, I was like, you have to know that really hurt my feelings that you said I only had soul because somebody broke up with me. And she was like, no, 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 no. She said, no, 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 no. You are like at the peak of training. I come to all your shows. You are technically like a very proficient singer. She said, but I heard you do something I've never heard you do before
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you weren't worried about technique, because we were
Yeah.
singing in our hairbrushes, because it was just
Yes.
emotional. And she
Yes.
said, that is your next level of singing. And I was like, oh, I had such a revelation, right?
Yes.
I had
It's so
such a
true.
revelation. So that's
No,
my fun
you.
story about getting dumped.
I love it. I love it. It just, I'm going to jump on this with a lightning answer too. So this is a great example because you could say, take my first comment and say, okay, I never need to learn any vocal technique or anything else. I just need to connect emotionally. And yeah, you will really improve. But the better your technique gets, the easier it is for your body to draw on what it already knows and draw on your natural ability. You know,
Mhm.
if a wild animal were chasing me, you better believe I'd be running fast. But if I were training sprinting and running on a regular basis, I would be running a lot faster for a lot
Right.
longer
Oh,
time.
that's a good example. That's a good
Yeah.
example. It's true. And that was my time where I needed to let the technique just be and stop working it directly. And
Yes.
now just connect to singing and know that my body would do the right things for me. Well, look at us having an emotional conversation about emotional singing. That was
I
good.
know. I got just one more.